Gratitude covers so much. Gratitude covers so much. And I am riding on a high right now. I feel like I'm on a high wave because I just finished doing 1.5 hours of facilitating a webinar on gratitude for a government entity out in Northern California. And when I tell you I had these people getting their gratitude on, that is an understatement. I am so grateful for what just happened. And the reason I want to share it with you, I want to tell you a little bit about that experience, but how that translates to your life. So I started out right off the top telling them to drop in the comments section one thing that had already happened today for which they were grateful. Now it was 9:30 in the morning where they are, and it was 12:30 for me when I started this webinar. So I told them, I gave them an example about my coffee maker that's just chugging along, and I know one day I'm going to go down the hall and there's not going to be any coffee, but I'm grateful that Starbucks is a couple of blocks up the road and I can go out and get coffee if I need to and then get a new coffee maker. So I wanted them to be specific, and that's how we started. And they just flooded the comments section with very specific things from this guy didn't hit me, he didn't rear end me this morning, a bobcat ran out in front of me, I didn't have a car accident. It was a number of things. And throughout this webinar, I would have them write down on paper things they appreciate about their jobs, trying to flip that script, the perspective about their jobs. Things they appreciate within themselves, not in a narcissistic way, but as a form of just respecting who they are and some self-love, healthy self-love. And so whenever they were doing that writing, I didn't want it to just be silent. And so I chose 3 songs to pull up on my Apple Music. And the first one during the first exercise was Bobby McFerrin's Don't Worry, Be Happy. I realize some of you may be too young to remember that, so just pull it up. The second song I played on the next exercise was Happy by Pharrell Williams, Virginia Beach Boy, from the movie Despicable Me. And then the third song I played was Thank You for Being a Friend. I think Kenny Gold sang that, and it was the theme song for the Golden Girls. And so we had the gratitude, happy music going, and then they would drop some of these comments into the chat. And when they were lavishing praise, external gratitude on their team members, boy, was that a game changer. That just gave me goosebumps because people were really happy. And we talked about how not only does it make someone feel good when you show them gratitude, but we feel good for having made them feel good and for letting them know that we thank them for whatever it is. And then I gave them different techniques for building a habit of gratitude. I've shared this before, but I'm going to share it again because I think it's really important. This is something I do a lot with, I used to do it with my life coaching clients. I do it a lot with grief coaching clients. If I feel they're just parked in this place of, oh, nothing's good, and they just can't see the glass as being half full, even in the midst of their grief or whatever their challenge may be. And so here's my little prescription. It's uber simple. And, it takes 60 some days typically to build a habit. So you have to be consistent with it. At the end of the day, take a notebook. I would buy a notebook and call it a gratitude journal, but you can get it at the Dollar Tree, just a simple notebook. And at the end of the day, reflect on your day, just on that day, and identify 3 things that happened or maybe were said during that particular day for which you're grateful. And when you have written those 3 things, write one way that you showed gratitude to someone else. I always use this. This is a very worn out example I've used. But when you go into a grocery store, if you actually check out with a real person, a real sales associate, store associate, look at their name tag. And when you have completed your transaction, thank them, call them by their name, wish them a great rest of the day. Watch their faces. Watch their faces. I do that all the time, and it makes me feel good. You know, we all go through stuff in life. We all go through things. We go through loss, we go through hardship, but we can still be grateful because it is a choice. And I can tell you, for me, it takes a lot more energy, and it's not good energy, to park in a place of not being grateful than to be grateful. That is good, positive energy. And so, yeah, it was a great webinar. The comments, I was accepting them, like, Amy, we love this. This is awesome. You're terrific. Blah 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 blah. And I accept those. So I wanted to share that with you. But also, my main reason for sharing it was not to tell you that I did a great job with this seminar or that people were really grateful about their lives. Sure, I'd like to share that. But I want you to start to practice gratitude in your own life. It's really important. It affects our mind, it affects our bodies. So I am grateful for you for being my friend, if you're my personal Facebook friend, because I post this in a couple of places. And I'm grateful for you if you follow me here on my business page for doing that. I hope you have a really wonderful rest of the day.